Hey YouTubers, welcome to another Summer of Awesome. Today we'll be getting a preview for Brad Bird's Tomorrowland and Sherlock Season 3. I know you've been patient, and I've got a ton of spoilers, so get excited. Here we go!
Before our preview of Tomorrowland, I'd like to read these few words of dedication. A vista into a world of wondrous ideas, signifying man's achievement, a step into the future, with predictions of constructive things to come. Tomorrow offers new frontiers in science, adventure, and ideals, the atomic age, the challenge of outer space, and the hope for a peaceful and unified world.
Tomorrowland is Brad Bird's newest live-action movie. You may remember him from such movies as Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, Ratatouille, and The Incredibles. He is also the animation genius behind some of the best seasons of The Simpsons. There were a lot of rumors going into the movie before they had announced the title originally. Because it's a Disney movie, people thought that it was just a cover for the next Star Wars project, hoping that Brad Bird might be the director. But when J.J. Abrams was announced, they also released the details about Tomorrowland. It's really a film that just draws loosely on the mythology around Disney's theme park, Tomorrowland. In the film, a young inventor, Frank Walker, actually approaches the creator of Tomorrowland, played by Hugh Laurie. His character's name is David Nix, who's also the villain of the film. After telling him his work is crap, Athena, played by Raffi Cassidy, takes pity on him and smuggles Walker into Tomorrowland, which is actually a futuristic utopia that exists in another dimension. After Laurie's character discovers Walker in Tomorrowland, he casts him out. Eventually, many years later, the character played by now older George Clooney finds Athena again and helps her restore Tomorrowland to the utopia it used to be. Think of the story as an adventure cross between The Wizard of Oz, John Carter of Mars, and The Da Vinci Code. Writer Damon Lindelof actually confirmed some of these details when he talked about the story as being an adventure serial taken from Disney's past in a time when people were really optimistic about the future and the lives they'd lead. Here's a challenge. In the comments below, combine as many Disney movies as possible into a brand new movie. I'll pick the best ideas and include them in my episode in 2 weeks. That's June 7th. So if you have a really awesome idea, you might see it in that Summer of Awesome. You can also send me ideas on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, or even Google+. You can find links to all those pages on my channel page. And now I know you've been patient, so let's talk about Sherlock Season 3.
Why does your phone make that noise?
It's texted that. It means I've got a text.
So every time they text you...
So here's what we know about Season 3 so far. We know the titles of the first 2 episodes. Episode 1 is The Empty Hearse, and Episode 2 is The Sign of 3. They haven't started filming Episode 3 yet, but Episode 2 just finished filming, so they should start filming Episode 3 by the beginning of June sometime. Episode 1 was written by Sherlock co-creator Mark Gatiss. He's also written a bunch of Doctor Who. The title is actually a play on the classic Holmes story, The Adventures of the Empty House, and is actually the reunion of the Holmes and Watson characters. That's right, Holmes and Watson will get back together in this episode, so be careful for mega spoilers for the plot. So there's a scene at a party where Watson flips out and punches a waiter that looks very much like Holmes. It's likely that this will actually be the reunion scene, but they don't get back together yet. Did I mention that Watson has grown a spectacular mustache since Holmes has died? Interesting to note that during the episode, while the Watson and Holmes characters are still at odds, Holmes has to rely on Molly to go to crime scenes with him, so you'll see some shipping going on. It'll be pretty funny. We also meet Mary Morstand, the future Mrs. Watson, in this episode. She actually becomes very significant in the reunion between Watson and Holmes, and she agrees to be a go-between, and eventually Holmes and Watson do reconcile. Watson shaves his mustache, but not before being abducted by the villain. We actually find out that the villain in this episode is Sebastian Moran. He's actually the number 2 to Moriarty, and he was the sniper at the end of Season 2 that was after Watson. He ends up sticking Watson in a bonfire for some reason. Holmes and Mary rush to rescue him, and eventually they do reconcile. As a mark of their true reconciliation, Holmes, as penance for his crimes against friendship, has to wear the deer hunter. That's basically the first episode, so it wraps up a lot from the end of Season 2, including some of Moriarty's characters. There's some flashbacks as well. If you remember, the Watson character does have PTSD, so we'll see some of those scenes in the episode. There's also theories that the title of the second episode, The Sign of 3, is references to the 3 characters, Moriarty, Moran the villain, and Morstan. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Because the show is steeped in so many riddles, there's so much good speculation to be done. I'll be doing spoilers for the second episode in a future video. Be sure to subscribe to get it. This weekend is Arrested Development. I'll be marathoning it on Sunday, as should you all. I'll also be doing an Arrested Development video that I'll post on Monday when I normally post my Game of Thrones video. But since we don't have Game of Thrones this weekend, just to give you a fix, I'll be doing a spoiler video for the finale this weekend. I'll post that on Sunday so you can watch Game of Thrones in the morning and Arrested Development for the entire rest of the day. Who needs to go outside? In the meantime, you can check out more of my Summer of Awesome by clicking here, and you can check out more of my Doctor Who videos by clicking here. See you this weekend. High fives!